This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, can just a few of you confirm me in the chat box if the voice is audible and the screen is visible? All right, perfect. Okay, so we'll be starting our session in another 3 or 4 minutes, and yeah, 4 or 5 should be the ideal time when we will start the session. So let's wait for another 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. So let's just start with our today's session. I think it's almost 4:04 is not really good to keep all the attendees waiting for a long time. So today is 14th May 2023, Sunday. and we have our topic with us, which is stop the loss. So today we are going to learn about how to manage risk and handle closings on a closing basis stop loss. Okay, so we are going to be talking about stop losses and what is a stop loss, how do we place a stop loss, and all about things like managing the risk and how do we handle the closing using an indicator called ATR. So we will be going through the session, and before we proceed, there are the table of contents and how we'll be going through the session today. So first of all, we'll be talking about the speaker, which is me. Though most of you already know me by now, but still, just a quick introduction about myself. Then we'll be looking at the topic, which is stop the loss, and where has this term really come from. Okay. Then we'll be talking about swing high and swing low. Now, this concept is very, very important, and what I feel is that most of the things in technical analysis revolve around this topic only, which is swing high and swing low. So this is like the most basic and the core concept which should be understood by everyone before you are proceeding to learn any new things. Then the fourth thing we are going to be talking about is why is managing risk so important? Okay, because most of the people they ignore the factor of risk. So why is managing the risk important? This is the fourth thing we are going to be talking about. Then we are going to be talking about the different types of stop losses in trading and investing. How do we place a stop loss in trading, and how do we place a stop loss in investing, and how do we handle the closings on a closing basis stop loss? Okay, so all these are very very quick, 3 or 4 slides only. So we'll be wrapping up the session in like 1.5 hour something, and we'll try to make this quick, and we will also try to make it as efficient as possible and very very easy to understand by everyone. So just a very very quick introduction about myself. My name is Riyan Karora. I am currently 23 years old, and I am a full-time equity and derivatives trader by profession. And I'm a trainer by passion. I really like to teach people, so that is another one of the reasons why I keep doing all these webinars and seminars, uh, like almost regularly now. So I'm into the market since the age of 14, and I'm a graduate in BA Honors Economics based out of Jaipur, Rajasthan. So I have trained close to 25,000 plus people so far for absolutely free. And I have conducted close to 50 plus webinars since the start of my journey. So that is just a little bit about myself. As though most of you have already known me from my last session on the art of technical analysis. So I have attained close to 4 certifications from NISM so far. That is like completely for my knowledge. So before we proceed further with this session, just a quick must watch, kind of a thing. So there was a learning initiative which we did back in 2020, which had all these free learning videos for technical analysis and charts. So the session number 2 and session number 21, which was the session number 2 was in Dow theory, in which I had explained all the higher high, higher lows, lower high, lower lows, how they are made, etc., etc. And in session number 21, I had explained the entry, stop loss, and targets in investing through technical analysis. Okay, so these two sessions are going to be very, very important as we proceed further with our today's session. So, just after this session, I would really strongly suggest you to go and watch these two sessions as well, just as an added knowledge factor. So, another quick reminder, we are doing a small meetup in New Delhi. The venue is IIC, which is India International Center in Lodi Estate. This is going to be happening on 21st May 2023 from 10 o'clock. And my session is probably from 10:30 in the morning itself. So I'll be presenting about anchor, VWAP, and a lot other technical analysis parameters and everything. So you can DM me for registrations of this in case you wish to meet me in person. It's always a great opportunity to meet and interact. So let's start with our today's webinar, right? Yes, webinar, rightly said. So let's begin with our today's webinar on stop the loss. So first of all, talking about the topic, right? Stop the loss का मतलब क्या होता है? It is very very important to know about the topic first before we proceed further with the session. So stop the loss is a term which is coming from the word stop loss. अब सबकी trading or investing journey में I'm pretty sure everyone would have heard about the word stop loss, right? So stop loss is basically the type of order that traders or investors they use to prevent them from making a big loss, right? Which they use to limit their potential losses in the stock market. So it works by automatically selling a security when its price reaches a particular level known as a stop loss price. Okay. Uh, yeah, I will share the link after the session. So please keep the chat on mute. Is my voice audible, guys? Just confirm quickly in the chat box. If the voice is loud and clear, please write voice clear. Okay, the voice is loud and clear as said by most of the people. So I would request like to all of you who have not been able to get the voice clearly to connect to the audio once. Okay, so a stop loss is a type of order that traders and investors use to limit their potential losses in the stock market. It works by automatically selling a security when the price reaches a particular level. Okay, so this is just a order which is used by traders and investors to limit their potential losses. Again, no audio. Guys, you have to connect to the audio first. I am not moving away and towards my mic. Okay, everything is audible, so there are possibly some issues at their own end. So what I'm going to do is let me just disable the chat for the time being, else it will continue to disturb everyone. Okay. So the chat is disabled for the time being because there will be a lot of messages, and most of the people have been able to listen to voice very, very clearly. So let's, try to ignore all the messages. So, okay, proceeding further with the session, the swing high and swing low concept, which I said is going to be the most important concept. As I already have explained multiple times during my past sessions, so there was session number 2 of the Google Drive folder, and as well as the last session which we did on art of technical analysis on 7th May 2023. For a stock which is in a decline. Okay, so you need to listen to these terms very, very carefully, which I'm saying, because all the concepts, बिल्कुल starting A to Z जो भी concepts होते हैं, they start to revolve around these things only. ठीक है? This is the most important concept which you need to know. So for a stock in decline, we need at least two green candles. They can be either consecutive or sequential, and each of those green candles to have two higher closes and higher highs. Okay, so this is for us to mark a swing high, and as soon as we get to mark this point, now that point is considered to be a swing high when the low of this decline is broken down. Okay, so I had explained this topic in my last session also, and I will explain this topic once again in this session as well. So for a stock in a rally, we need at least two red candles. They can be either consecutive or sequential, each with two lower closes and lower lows. Okay, this marks a swing low. So I will be considering an example as well, because I always believe in the visual approach more than the definitions. ये definition पढ़ के किसी को कुछ समझ में नहीं आता until and unless we do not see charts and we do not see examples. Okay, proceeding further, this is one of the examples of marking a swing high. Okay, so what is happening is कि stock नीचे जाता जा रहा है. The stock is going down from levels of almost 47 till almost the levels of 9. And in this continuous downward process, what is happening is that we need at least two green bars. Okay, point number one is कि हमको दो green bar चाहिए, and point number two is कि वो दोनों green bar का should be a higher high and higher close format. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे ये red candle पे एक low बन गया 9 रुपये 50 पैसे का. Okay, on the red candle we got a low of 9 rupee 50 paise. After that we got a green candle. This was green candle number 1. So this green candle number 1 का जो high है, the second green candle's high should be more than the first green candle's high. This is point number 1. And point number 2 is that the second green candle's close should also be higher than the first green candle's close. Okay, and as soon as we got it, now we will mark this point as a potential swing high. ये potential swing high होगा, ये swing high नहीं होगा. When will this be swing high? This point will be considered as a swing high when we get a breakdown below this particular low of 9 rupee 50 पैसे. जब ये वाले लो के नीचे मेरे को एक breakdown मिल जाएगा, then this point will be considered as a swing high. Now in the process of that low being broken, I got another green candle, and that was with a high of 15.20 and a closing of 12 rupee 50 paise, somewhere around that. Okay, and then what happened? The price proceeded further, and we got a breakdown below this level. अब ये वाले लेवल के नीचे मेरे को ब्रेकडाउन मिलते ही I am now 100% confirm that 15 rupee 20 paise, this level is considered to be a swing high. Okay, this is the first important concept of swing high, identifying the swing high. Now similar concept can be used on identifying the swing lows. Okay, तो उसके लिए next slide. Yeah. So this is a similar concept that is used to identify the swing lows as well. For a stock moving in an uptrend, we need two red bars, each with lower low and lower closing. अब stock अगर नीचे जा रहा है तो हमको green bar चाहिए. Green bar में क्या condition है? Higher high and higher closing, two green candles. और डाउन ट्रेंड में अगर स्टॉक, और सॉरी अप ट्रेंड में अगर स्टॉक जा रहा है, देन द टू कंडीशंस आर टू रेड बार्स बोथ विद लोअर लोज एंड लोअर क्लोजिंग. ओके, तो यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? स्टॉक ऊपर जाता जा रहा है, स्टॉक ने ये हाई बना दिया, राइट, एंड आफ्टर दैट वी गॉट वन रेड बार, वी गॉट टू रेड बार एंड वी गॉट थ्री रेड बार. और तीनों में आप देखो, तीनों का जो लो था वो लोअर लो था. ठीक है, तो ये लो बन गया. जो अगला लो बना वो पहले लो से नीचे था, और फिर जो अगला लो बना दैट वाज आल्सो लेसर देन द प्रीवियस लो. So all had lower lows and all three red bars had lower closings as well compared to the previous bar. Okay, so that's how we got this particular point. And as soon as I got a breakout above the previous swing high, ये वाले swing high के ऊपर मेरे को जैसे ही breakout मिला, this point is now considered to be as a swing low. Okay, now this topic is the most important and the core topic across each of the things which I teach. Okay, तो कभी भी कोई भी मैं सेशन करता हूँ, मैं ये वाले टॉपिक को हमेशा कवर करता हूँ. लास्ट टाइम ऑल्सो when we were discussing about the longest downtrend reversal pattern and the ABC setup, which we were talking about the two breakout setups, I was discussing this topic first. This topic will always be the most important thing to discuss whenever we are proceeding further with anything, or whenever we are proceeding to learn anything new. So that's how you identify swing highs and swing lows. Now we need to understand कि risk को manage करना इतना important क्यों है? Why is managing risk so important? It is very important to be optimistic in life. ठीक है, हमेशा we should look upwards on rewards. However, it is equally important not to forget how much you can lose if you go wrong. ठीक है, अगर मैं गलत हो गया तो मेरा कितना पैसा जाएगा, this you should never forget. Technical analysis is a game of probabilities, and nothing against any form of analysis. Technical analysis हो गया, fundamental analysis हो गया, कुछ भी हो गया, but there is always a risk which is associated, which is called the risk of getting wrong. No matter how accurate you are or how confident you are, there is always a possibility that you can go wrong too. Before knowing how much money you can make if you go right, it is always important to know first how much money you would lose if you go wrong. This is just one line which I always mention whenever we are talking about risk management or position sizing. In the business of stock market, what's important above everything, सारी चीजें एक तरफ और preservation of capital एक तरफ. Because to be in this game of stock market you need capital. ठीक है, you have to be in the game for long enough first. So preservation of capital is considered to be the topmost priority whenever it is coming to any business, not just stock market. ठीक है, so that's why risk management is very very important principle. Now there are two types of stop losses. First one is a trigger based stop loss, and the second one is a closing based stop loss. The first stop loss is a trigger based stop loss. Now trigger based stop loss is generally used in trading. Okay, basically दो तरह की trading होती है, एक होता है intraday trading and the other one is a swing trading. So this type of stop loss, which is called a trigger based stop loss, this is always placed in the system, and it is mostly used by intraday traders and swing traders for just trading purposes. The swing low, ठीक है, अब वही वाला टॉपिक वापस आ गया. मैंने कहा था दैट टॉपिक इज द कोर ऑफ एवरी अदर टॉपिक. The swing low, which is made after the breakout of the high in a rally, that is considered to be the trigger basis stop loss in the trading for the same. Whereas there are many other techniques like anchored VWAP, there is super trend, there is moving average, there is whatnot. Now those all the topics, they are considered to be a little bit on the advanced side, right? And I honestly feel like जितना ज़्यादा indicator में घुसते जाएंगे ना, it is very very tough to get out of all those indicators and signals, right? And you will typically tend to just get confused later on कि यार क्या यूज़ करें, super trend यूज़ करूँ या anchor view यूज़ करूँ या क्या यूज़ करूँ. So just considering a very most common and a most basic principle of keeping a stop loss, uh, in a rally, whenever you're getting a swing low, which is considered to be a swing low after the breakout of the high, right? You remember that point. I hope you remember that point very, very well. And that point is considered to be the stop loss, the swing low. Okay. So now we will just look at one of the examples. I will just show you the chart of a very, very recently listed company, which was Mankind. Now, generally like to take examples of IPOs very, very much in trading whenever it is coming, because the chart is very very newly formed and it is very very easy to understand as well. So talking about the trigger basis stop loss, now Mankind was listed somewhere around the level of 1300. Okay, after listing at 1300, what is happening is कि पहली मेरे को रेड बार मिली, फिर ग्रीन बार मिली, फिर स्टॉक ऊपर जाना शुरू हो गया. Okay, now I will be enabling the chat box just for a minute just to see uh, how many of you are enabled to identify the swing low. Just 1 minute. Okay. So the chat is now enabled. Now what is happening is कि ये जो stock है, ये almost from the levels of 1302, it kept going on and on, ऊपर ऊपर जाता गया. ठीक है. So now you have to tell me कि यहाँ पे मैं ना थोड़े से points mark करूंगा and you just have to tell me कि which point is considered to be a swing low. Is it this point of 1349 or is it this point of 1352? Okay. So which point here will be considered as a swing low? Will it be this particular point which I have marked right here of 1349, which is this one? Or will it be this point of 1352, which is marked as this one? Okay, some people are saying 1352, some people are saying 1349. Let me explain to the people who are saying 1349. First of all, the correct answer is the swing low which will be considered here will be this particular point, which is 1352, and not this point. Now, why this is happening is that कि ये जो stock है ये 1300 rupees से ऊपर जाना शुरू हुआ. Okay, from the levels of 1300, the stock started to go up. It kept going up on and on and on. Then it made a high of this particular point, which is 1367. अब जो high बना है वो red candle पे बना है. Okay, now you remember very very well that after a high is made, I need at least two red bars. Okay, ये वाला high बनने के बाद मेरे को दो red bars चाहिए. तो ये high बन गया, लेकिन ये high बनने के बाद I did not get two red bars. Okay, I just got one red bar, राइट. इसके बाद मेरे को एक और रेड बार मिला ही नहीं, विच वाज विद अ लोअर लो एंड लोअर क्लोजिंग. जस्ट रिमेंबर दैट पॉइंट वेरी वेरी वेल. ये रेड बार मेरे को मिला तो सही, लेकिन ये वाली रेड बार का जो लो था वो पहली वाली रेड बार से ऊपर था, राइट. So it was not a red bar with a lower low and lower close. So this will not be considered as a swing low. So that's why we proceeded further and the stock went till the level of 1386. उसके बाद मेरे को ये एक रेड बार मिली और ये दूसरी रेड बार मिली, and both were with lower low, lower closing fashion. Okay, then the price continued to scale down further and it reached almost till the level of 1352 right here, right. So 1352 का point मेरे को यहाँ पे मिल गया, and the stock then started to move up and it gave me a breakout above 1386. Let me just get rid of the drawings just to make you understand better. 1386 के ऊपर stock यहाँ पे निकल गया at this particular candle. Now, after the stock has gone above the level of 1386, after the stock has gone above the level of 1386, this point 1352 will be called as a swing low. ठीक है, only after the stock has gone above 1386. जब तक 1386 से ऊपर नहीं गया है तब तक ये point swing low नहीं कहलाएगा. Just remember this point to the core. Okay, and as soon as the breakout has happened at this point, now my stop loss for this particular trade will be 1352 on trigger basis, right. This will be my stop loss on trigger basis at 1352. And going forward, you can see how the stock, played out. It went till almost 1410. Then it came down till 1356. However, it did not trigger the stop loss of 1352. Started to consolidate and later went on till levels of 1430 as well. Okay. I think upper circuit उसी दिन लग गया था. But then on the next day, the stock came down and it gave me a this candle. Okay, this candle which was a wick candle 1352 के नीचे गई यहाँ पे, right? So यहाँ पे मेरा stop loss hit हो गया था. My stop loss hit on this candle. That's the reason it is called a trigger basis stop loss, because as soon as the price triggers below 1352, the stop loss hits. Okay, so this is called a trigger basis stop loss, where your trigger is kept into the system, your stop loss is kept into the system, and as soon as the price goes below 1352, यहाँ पे price 1352 के नीचे गया and it went till the level of 1340. As soon as the price goes below 1352, your stop loss is hit. So that is how you place a stop loss in trading. Okay, this was the trading part. And now proceeding further, the second part is called as a closing basis stop loss. Now, closing basis stop loss एक तरह का stop loss होता है which is used in investing. Because in investing we generally like to, avoid the noise, and we generally try to absorb it as much as possible. So that's why investing may we generally do not use a trigger basis stop loss. We use a closing basis stop loss in the definition of technical analysis. So this type of stop loss is generally used for investing purposes. This stop loss is where you have to wait for the closing of the candle to happen. Generally it is of three types. First one is a daily closing basis stop loss, जिसमें हमको end of day की closing monitor करनी होती है. Second one is a weekly closing basis stop loss, which is called as a WCB, जिसमें हमको end of week की closing monitor करनी होती है. And third one is a MCB, which is called a monthly closing basis stop loss, in which we have to monitor the month end closing of the candle. Now, let's take a similar example only, as we were talking about Mankind Pharma right here. So here on this candle, the trigger basis stop loss was hit because the stock went below the level of 1352. लेकिन stock ने closing कहाँ पे दी थी ये वाली candle पे? On this candle, the stock closed at the level of 1362. Okay, so closing basis stop loss was not hit here. The closing basis stop loss was only hit. Let's just proceed further. एक candle closing आई थी 1352 के नीचे. So this was this particular candle. The closing basis stop loss was hit on this candle when we got a closing below 1352 on this level. Okay, so that is how a closing basis stop loss works. Once you get a closing below your stop loss level, that is when your stop loss is considered to be hit. The way of marking stop loss is same for trading and investing both. जो तरीका होता है stop loss mark करने का वो trading और investing दोनों में same है. That is just that one common method which I have told you about, which is a swing low. For a stock moving in a rally, the swing low is considered to be the stop loss, and for a stock moving in a decline, the swing high is considered to be the stop loss. अब जो most important point आगे आएगा, that is that how do we handle these closings in a stop loss, right? सबसे पहले तो ये कि stop loss trading में मतलब लगाना कैसे है, this I have already taught you, right? But there are just a few more sessions which are session number 8, 11, 12 and 20. ये चार सेशन में मैंने थोड़े एडवांस कॉन्सेप्ट भी सिखाए थे स्टॉप लॉस लगाने के लिए. So if you want to watch those advanced concepts, you can very well go further and see the same. Just basic understanding मिल जाती है और knowledge grow होती है. That is a always an amazing thing to do. Proceeding further, this is how to place your stop loss in investing. ठीक है, trading में तो stop loss मैंने आपको बता दिया. The swing low for a stock moving upwards will be the stop loss. And swing low कब बनेगा? Swing low तब बनेगा जब stock में breakout आ जाएगा उसके previous high के ऊपर. Just remember this point very very well. Now, how do you place your stop loss in investing? It is a similar mindset. वही trading वाला mindset ही होता है. But generally क्या होता है? In investing we are using weekly or monthly charts, right? So weekly or monthly chart में sometimes the swing low is very very wide, right? And if that swing low is like close is more than 35% away, if that swing low is more than 35% away from the point of breakout, then the stop loss is considered to be the breakout candle low. ठीक है, अब इसके लिए मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल लेके सिखाता हूँ. देयर इज अ कंपनी कॉल्ड जुपिटर वैगन्स लिमिटेड. Okay, this is the chart of Jupiter Wagons Limited on monthly time scale, right? We are looking at monthly time scale on Jupiter Wagons. Now, this is the level जिसके ऊपर मेरे को breakout मिला था 109.70. Now this stock was discussed in last session also when I was talking about three companies which were recently on my radar. So I got a breakout above this particular high which is right here on this candle which is this green bar, right? तो ये वाली green bar के ऊपर मेरे को जब breakout मिल गया, now uh, 1 second. So when I got a breakout above this 109.70 level, which is on this green bar, I can very clearly see कि stock यहाँ से ऊपर आया है, which is from the level of 6 rupees 75 पैसे, 6 रुपए 75 पैसे से stock has come almost till 170. And in this entire rally, my recent swing low is coming at this level, which is this one. ये वाली कैंडल का ये जो लो है, which is 14 रुपी 55 पैसे, वही वाले लेवल पे मेरे को दो रेड कैंडल का फॉल मिला था, each which was with a lower closing. उसके बाद मेरे को कहीं भी दो रेड कैंडल का फॉल नहीं मिला मंथली पे, which gave me two lower closing. तो अगर I am buying at a level of 123 and I'm keeping a stop loss at 14 रुपी 55 पैसे, it is 88% downside. ठीक है, तो 88% डाउनसाइड का कोई स्टॉप लॉस नहीं रखता. Okay, so if this swing low is more than 35% from the point of breakout, then the stop loss is kept to be the breakout candle low. Now the breakout candle is 123 पे breakout हुआ. The breakout candle low is 92 rupee 35 paise, which means my stop loss here would be 90 rupees on monthly closing basis. Just एक या दो रुपए ऊपर नीचे थोड़ा आप करके राउंड फिगर में उसको कर दो. That will give you a good, you know, good conservation also against the same. Right, so 90 rupees on monthly closing basis will be your stop loss right here. And you can see कि stock नीचे आया लेकिन stock ने यहाँ पे closing नहीं दी 90 के नीचे, right? And then it moved above towards the level of 170. So that is how you keep your stop losses in investing. The methodology is same only. I will give you another example which is of Devji Transformers Limited, which was a very recently listed company. अब इसमें जो pattern बना था, ये pattern मैंने अपने last वाले session में सिखाया था. This pattern is called a ABC breakout pattern. Okay, this is ABC breakout pattern which had recently formed. तो यहाँ पे हुआ क्या? Stock listed around 560. Stock started to go up. It came up till 685. यहाँ 685 तक आ गया, लेकिन 685 तक आने के बाद मेरे को उसने टू रेड कैंडल नहीं दी जिनमें लोअर लो और लोअर क्लोजिंग दोनों थी. ओके, आई नीड लोअर लो ऑल्सो एंड आई नीड लोअर क्लोजिंग ऑल्सो. तो ये वाला हाई बन गया. अब यार आप बोलोगे कि यार यहाँ ये एक रेड कैंडल मिल गई और ये एक रेड कैंडल मिल गई, तो दोनों लोअर क्लोजिंग तो हैं बट दोनों लोअर लो नहीं है, राइट? फर्स्ट कैंडल का जो लो है दैट इज 633. सेकंड रेड कैंडल का जो लो है दिस इज 635. So I did not get two lower closing candles here. So that's why the stock continued to move up. अब stock यहाँ तक आ गया 688 तक. अब ये 688 का नया हाई बनाने के बाद I got two red bars. One was this and one was this. Each was with lower closing. राइट, तो ये दो रेड बार्स बनते ही मेरे को मैंने स्विंग लो मार्क कर लिया which was at point number 643, right? And I got a breakout right here on this candle. So from the point of breakout, which is almost around like 700 levels, my stop loss is coming to be 643, which is roughly 8% downside. So it is considered to be a valid stop loss right here. So my entry is roughly 700 and here my stop loss is 640 on daily closing basis. That's how you mark your stop loss on the daily charts, right? तो यहाँ पे एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन ये भी आ सकता है at the end of the session that what time frames do we use for investing, right? So let me just quickly tell you the same. We generally use weekly or daily when we are referring to short-term investments, right? When we are referring to short-term investing, and we only use weekly or monthly when we are referring to all the long-term investings. Okay, so just clarified that question quite upfront before it, you know, comes at the end of the session. So just proceeding further, एक और क्वेश्चन जो आ सकता है जो मैं पहले से ही सॉल्व कर देना चाहता हूँ, बट बिफोर वी हेड टू दैट यू नो क्वेश्चन, वी जस्ट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जो इंडिकेटर हम यूज कर रहे हैं वो इंडिकेटर है क्या, राइट? अब देखो यार, मेरे को कोई इंडिकेटर समझाने में इतना मजा नहीं आता बिकॉज मैं इंडिकेटर खुद नहीं यूज करता, राइट? बट जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ इट, इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर वर्स्ट केस सिनेरियो कभी कभी हो जाता है, देन हाउ डू वी टैकल द सेम. So to handle those worst case scenarios, this is just a definition of ATR, which I'm not going to read out, क्योंकि मैं तो यार हमेशा प्रैक्टिकल और विजुअल अप्रोच में बिलीव करता हूँ. ठीक है. ATR is something which is called average true range, and which basically defines the range of a particular day. अब ठीक है, अगर आप डेली कैंडल कोई चेक कर रहे हो तो ये 14 पीरियड पे बेस होती है, विच इज whatever it is based on. So we don't really need to dig deep into the definitions or anything. Yeah, I don't really want to bore you. So how do you handle the closing well? This is the most important thing. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन क्या आ सकता है कि यार यहाँ जुपिटर वैगन्स की आपने बात करी. जुपिटर वैगन्स के मंथली चार्ट पे यू आर सेइंग दैट ये वाले लेवल के ऊपर मेरे को यहाँ पे ब्रेकआउट मिल गया ऑन दिस कैंडल. माय स्टॉप लॉस इज 90 रुपीज ऑन मंथली क्लोजिंग बेसिस. ये क्वेश्चन है ना, मेरे को थोड़े टाइम पहले एक दो व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप से भी किसी ने पूछा था. सो आई स्टार्टेड टू पॉन्डर अपॉन द सेम, एंड आई केम आउट विद अ वेरी robust research, you can say, which really helped me to understand the thought process behind the same. So the stop loss here is 90 rupees on monthly closing basis. तो अब क्वेश्चन पता है क्या था? क्वेश्चन ये था कि यहाँ पे ब्रेकआउट आ गया, स्टॉप लॉस 90 मंथली क्लोजिंग बेसिस हो गया. नाउ व्हाट विल यू डू इफ टिल द मंथ एंड द स्टॉक केम डाउन टिल द लेवल ऑफ 50 रुपीज. अगर स्टॉक 50 रुपए आ गया मंथली क्लोजिंग पे, तो वुड यू एग्जिट द स्टॉक? Right. This is a valid question, right? If you are entering a stock at say 110 rupees, and if your stop loss is 90 rupees on monthly closing basis का क्या मतलब होता है? Monthly closing basis means that month end closing, right? MCB means month end closing, right? Which will be on 31st of May, considering ये वाले महीने की अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं, right? Now, what will you do if till the month end the stock came down till 50 रुपीज? अगर 50 रुपए आ गया तो आपका रिस्क मैनेजमेंट क्या रह गया? कुछ नहीं रह गया, राइट? योर रिस्क मैनेजमेंट इज नथिंग देन. So in that case, that is where the introduction of the indicator ATR comes in, which is called as an average true range indicator. तो ATR के इंडिकेटर में हम कैसे यूज करते हैं मैं आपको बताता हूँ. ये वाले पॉइंट पे यू गॉट अ ब्रेकआउट at the level of 123 is the closing of this candle, right? So your entry, let's say here is 123. Your stop loss here is, let's say, not let's say 90 monthly closing basis only is the stop loss. Now to calculate your position size, अब position size को कैसे calculate किया जाता है ये मैंने अपने WhatsApp group में भी डाला ही था, which is risk in amount divided by entry minus SL, right? So to calculate the stop loss here, what you are doing is that you are converting the closing basis stop loss into a trigger basis stop loss. Okay, this is just for the worst case scenarios, considering the worst case scenarios. A worst case scenario क्या हो सकता है कि 90 की मंथली क्लोजिंग बेसिस का स्टॉक 40 या 30 रुपए आ जाए. मैं कहता हूँ कंपनी बैंकक्रप्ट हो जाए, कुछ भी हो जाए, right? We are just considering the worst case scenario. Now to handle and tackle against those worst case scenarios, what we do is we convert this 90 rupees of monthly closing basis stop loss into a trigger basis stop loss by simply subtracting this level of 90 with the level of ATR at the point of breakout. पॉइंट ऑफ ब्रेकआउट था ये वाला, और ATR उस पॉइंट पे कितनी आ रही है नीचे आप देखो 13.90. So 90 minus 14, which will be 76, will be the trigger basis stop loss for worst case scenario. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन ये और आ सकता है कि यार इसमें अब हमारा स्टॉप लॉस हुआ क्या अंत में? Is it 90 on monthly closing basis or is it 76 on trigger closing basis? Now you need to understand the concept कि ये जो ट्रिगर बेसिस वाला स्टॉप लॉस मैंने आपको बताया, द ट्रिगर बेसिस स्टॉप लॉस व्हिच आई हैव टोल्ड यू, दिस इज टू कंसीडर फॉर द वर्स्ट केस सिनेरियो, right? If the stock is drifting below the levels of 90 and it is coming down till almost 50 40, इतना ज़्यादा drift हो रहा है, so in that case if the stock moves below 76 you immediately exit without considering anything. Okay, and similarly पोजिशन साइज के लिए आपको हमेशा ट्रिगर बेसिस वाला स्टॉप लॉस कंसीडर करना है, बिकॉज you always need to consider the worst case scenario into account. Okay, so that is going to be it, and another question would be that what's the use of closing basis stop loss if we are anyway using the trigger basis stop loss. तो हम ट्रिगर बेसिस स्टॉप लॉस यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं इन्वेस्टिंग के लिए. वी आर नॉट यूजिंग द ट्रिगर बेसिस स्टॉप लॉस. We are using the closing basis stop loss only, but we are taking into account a factor that something worse might happen. अगर वो वाला worst case scenario हो जाता है In that case, my trigger basis stop loss will protect me from that worst case scenario. For this particular thing, I have also made an Excel file for everyone. ठीक है, आज ही मैंने ये एक्सेल फाइल बनाई जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ इजियर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ एवरीवन. तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं ये एक्सेल फाइल एक बार ओपन कर लेता हूँ एंड आई विल जस्ट शो यू हाउ यू कैन यूज दिस एक्सेल फाइल वेरी वेरी क्विकली. So this Excel file is named as position sizer, which is right here. So I have made 3 sheets on this Excel file. First sheet is for trading, which is a buy positions on all the trading. Second one is a trading for the short selling. Third one is for the investing on the long buy side. Now let's say कोई भी ट्रेडर है जो इंट्राडे ट्रेड करता है, राइट, ही इज बाइंग मैनकाइंड एट 1300 with a stop loss of 1275 and a target of 1400. First of all, he will plug in his capital here. यहाँ पे अपनी कैपिटल डालो जितना भी आपका अमाउंट है. Say the person is trading with a capital of 25 lakh rupees, so he will put 25 lakh here and he'll press enter. As soon as he has pressed enter, he will get to know the risk values as well. तो अपना रिस्क उसको परसेंटेज में डिफाइन करना है यहाँ पे. Suppose he is buying Mankind at 1500 with a stop loss of 1450 for a target of 1750. The risk he is willing to take on this position, let's say it is 0.5%. अब ये जो 0.5% होता है, इसका मतलब क्या होता है कि अगर उसका stop loss hit हो जाता है, then he will lose 12,500 rupees, which is right here mentioned. Okay, if he is willing to take 1% risk, it means that अगर उसका stop loss hit हो जाता है, he will lose 25,000 rupees. So let's say he is willing to take 0.5% risk. As soon as he enters this, उसकी quantity यहाँ पे लिखी हुई आ जाती है, how much quantity he should buy. So the quantity here is 250 shares. Okay, so this is one thing. I think एक second. Yeah, so this is one thing. And now considering about investing scenario, this sheet I have made for investing scenario as well, right? For let's say a stock named Jupiter Wagons, if we are considering, let's say the entry is 110. In this case, you have to also plug in the ATR here. ठीक है, 110 पे अगर मैं एंट्री ले रहा हूँ तो मेरी जो पॉइंट ऑफ ब्रेकआउट पे ATR का लेवल है, दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दिस इज द पॉइंट ऑफ ब्रेकआउट एंड द ATR लेवल इज 13.90 here. So I need to enter the ATR as 14. Stop loss, I will be entering the closing basis stop loss. क्या क्या है यहाँ पे लेवल पे, right? So this is 90 on monthly closing basis, so I will enter 90 here. As soon as I've entered here, the risk parameter will change to 34 points. Even though 110 minus 90 is how much? 20 points. But it is also accounting for average true range under the same. So the risk is 34 points. And as per the risk of 34 points, it will calculate my quantity at 588. So agar end of day, agar end of month, if at the end of month, the closing of the stock is at 85, I will exit the stock. The trigger basis stop loss which I'm telling you, that is just to protect you against the worst case scenarios. Okay, so on that note, I would like to conclude today's session. And अगर किसी को भी कोई भी questions हैं, then you can very well post in the chat box itself, because last time I tried to have a few, unmute mute thing, and people were not really able to talk for some reason. So that's why I will just enable the chat box for the time being. If you have any more questions, then you can feel free to type in the chat box. What I will really do is that I will just post the Google Drive link and my social handles on all the WhatsApp groups that you are part of. And if you are not part of my WhatsApp group, then you can just, WhatsApp me on this number, which is provided right here, and I will add you to the same. Okay, Anubhav is saying that he could not understand ATR, so please explain that once again. I, I mean, I don't know what part in ATR that you did not really get. So what I'm going to do is trailing stop loss and position pyramiding will be a different session, Bharat. So we will plan a different session on pyramiding and trailing stop loss some other day. Rathan is saying that Excel template which I used, is there any easy template which we can use? So Rathan, I am working on the Excel template right now. So what I'll do is I'll try to make it as easy as possible to use, and then I'll post the same on the Google Drive or YouTube link. So I will try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to use it. Just expand ATR and show the range. Okay, there you go. Can you please explain the trading part again? The recording of this session will be uploaded though, but still I will just explain you very, very quickly. Like I said, for mankind, you need to keep the stop loss on the swing low. So for trading part, your stop loss is always going to be on a trigger basis. So right here, the stock was going up and it made a swing low of 1352 on this level. So the stop loss is on trigger basis. So whenever the stock goes below the level of 1352, the stock will hit the stop loss, and that is the case in the scenario of trading basis stop loss. So right here the stop loss was hit on this particular candle. So in trading, your stop loss is the swing low. अब वो swing low की definition मैं अभी तक I think 5 या 10 बार तो बता ही चुका हूँ. So the stop loss is swing low for a rally in trading, and the stop loss is on trigger basis. Okay. Meanwhile, can you share the existing Excel just for our understanding? Yes, I will definitely do that. When to use weekly closing basis stop loss? The weekly closing basis stop loss is used in the long-term investments. When worst case stop loss will be changed? Worst case stop loss will not be changed anyhow. Worst case stop loss will be the same from uh, the point of breakout minus the like adding the ATR, right? So it won't be changed. Okay. Okay, so there are a few things which I'm going to do at the end of the session. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my Google Drive link here on the chat box itself, and I will just post my social handles as well along with my phone number. What you can do is after the session, you can very, very quickly ping me, and I will just add you to the WhatsApp group as well, where all the links will be shared. Longest down trail reversal pattern, what should be the duration of fall and percentage from the high? There is no specific conditions for the duration of fall and percentage from the high. Yeah, there is no specific condition, Bharat, for that. When is your Mumbai meet happening in June? Any dates finalized? There are no dates which are finalized for the time being. Right now we are just doing a meetup in Delhi on 21st, so that is on the clock right now. Tanla went from 45 to 2000 and it came back to 800. What was the investment stop loss? Okay, so Tanla went from the levels of almost 45 to almost level of 2000. So what was the stop loss? Now what really happens is कि यहाँ पे जो केस होता है अभी आज का जो सेशन था ना, today's session was on the topic stop loss, right? When the stock is witnessing a vertical rally, जब एक stock vertical up move में जाता है, a vertical rally is there, then the stop loss is often trailed, and this trailing of stop loss is called a trailing stop loss. अब ये जो ट्रेलिंग स्टॉप लॉस का मेथड होता है, इफ यू विल जस्ट एक्सेस माय गूगल ड्राइव और तुम गूगल ड्राइव का एक एक फोल्डर देखोगे ना, एक एक वीडियो देखोगे, देन यू विल लर्न दैट आई हैव टॉट अबाउट ट्रेलिंग स्टॉप लॉस देयर एज वेल. Even though I will plan a session once again, that's not really a concern for me. However, if you will start watching those videos, they will help you in your initial basic journey of technical analysis as well. And yeah. Okay, so let me just post this link like I said. This is the Google Drive link which I have just now posted. How do you identify the stocks to trade? यार stock selection की बात फिर कभी करेंगे. We will plan a session on stock selection as well some other time. Let's just stick to the topic for the time being, which is on stop loss and risk management. Dow theory, I have already done the session. So the Google Drive link which you are seeing in the folder, the session number 2 was on Dow theory. Session number 2 of this Google Drive link. Entry exit session number 21 was on entry and exit for investing. So session number 2 and session number 21. I will also try to upload these recordings on my YouTube channel so that if ever the Google Drive link gets lost, then people can very very easily access from the YouTube channel itself. Okay, so at the end of the session, we will just, whosoever is not a part of Art of Technical Analysis or the WhatsApp group, you can WhatsApp me on this number and I will add you to the same. And all the links will be shared on the WhatsApp group. I have posted in the chat box as well, even though I will just post it once again. There you go. So you can just WhatsApp me on this number and I will add you to the group, and all the links will be shared on this particular group itself, which is all the Google Drive links and everything else. I don't use indicators. However, if I start to use sometime and I start to gain conviction or confidence on them, I will start taking sessions on indicators as well. But right now, I am, like since the last 8, 9 years, all I have practiced and found out is that price and volume is the most uh, engaging and important thing in the world of technical analysis. So that's why I try to stick with the same. Mumbai meetup in June. Guys, Mumbai ka meetup we will plan in June, and I have planned it around like mid something. I will think of it. But right now, so we are all just meeting in Delhi on 21st May. So New Delhi is right now on radar. All right, then I think there are no more questions. Perfect. So the WhatsApp number is right here on the screen for you. You can just note it down and WhatsApp me after the session. I will add you to the WhatsApp group and share all the Google Drive links along with the YouTube link of today's recording session on the same. I hope all of you enjoyed today's session. We will look forward to conducting more sessions in future. Stocks in watch for next week. यार हर हफ्ते stock थोड़ी बताएंगे. Even though Sazar Electronics is a very very good script, you can check that one out. AVWAP, I have done a lot of sessions, so you can see the Google Drive link and you can find out from the same. I have shared the Google Drive link, Vinodji. All right, we are concluding the session. Thank you everyone for joining in. Which website for free long-term charts? You can refer to Trading View. Something about Elliott Wave. Okay, this is an off-topic question, so let's ignore that. Thank you everyone once again for joining in, and see you all.